It's not supposed to be this cold out. I guess it is November 4th. I just realized that. Hey, excuse me. Shantae here. I know I told you guys that I was going to give you the video on why B and I really broke up. I've just been citing an unhealthy relationship, which was true. A very happy, we thought we were happy relationship, but an unhealthy one. And sharing just that is like when people are like, irreconcilable differences for divorce. And it was more complicated than that. And I want to let you guys in on that because I feel like there's a lot of people that probably need to hear it. But I got a lot of requests for this one today. I got on and was going through my messages and had almost 10 people asking the exact same question and asking for the same advice. So you get this video instead and can wait until a little bit later this week to get really why. So this video is on me and B and whether or not we will end up together and what I think is going to happen after this, because I've shared very openly about the fact that I still am very much in love with the man. It's a hard one not to love. And that when it comes to loving him and when it comes to enjoying being around him and when it comes to just like him as a person and him as my friend and a lot of things, I could still walk down the aisle to him tomorrow. But what matters is that relationships survive on love, marriages don't. And that's one of the reasons why I called off the relationship. There was a moment that kind of forced us to deal with reality, and forced me to really call it off. But there's just a lot of things that I'm recognizing and looking at it and seeing that the relationship wasn't as perfect or as great as we had both built it up to be in our minds, and that's a problem. It's like the high school graduation effect. Like high school graduation gets there, and suddenly you're like, oh my god, I'm never gonna see these people again. I love high school, and then you cry and you hug everybody, and you're like, oh my god, and you go to your late night party, and you're just like holding hands with everybody and being BFFs. At least that's what happened in my graduation. And you're like, it's high school graduation effect. Suddenly things were so great. You hated high school the whole time you were in high school. If you loved high school, you're a freak of nature. Okay, there's nobody who loved high school. High school sucked. Like, you're so awkward and you don't know what you're doing, but then you get there to the end and all you can see is the good times, and all you can see is the experiences and the growth and the positive in the last 4 years of your life. And yeah, the positive is obviously really important, but the things that I believe really shape us and shape who we are the hard stuff. And that's something that's hard for everybody in a relationship. And it's also the same reason why you can't be friends with your ex. I'm going to tell you that right now, and I'm going to touch a little bit on what Brian and I kind of tried to do. So I recorded a video every day before the wedding, and the wedding got here, and I didn't record a video on the wedding day. Most painful day of my entire life, but also really good. Very weird. It's all very inexplicable is the only way I can even put it. That it was really humbling and really, I just felt so loved, and so raw and so vulnerable. It just weird. But I watched the video. I recorded a video the day after the wedding, and it's 45 minutes of me just crying and hurting and feeling Brian, and like zero question, without a doubt in my mind from the moment I met him, the man's a soulmate. Like, I can feel him, like energetically, like he's in my body and has been since the day I met him. and he's not there as much as he used to be. I've let him go a lot in this process, but he's still there, and I don't know how long he's going to be there, and I'm not mad about it either. It gets a very uncomfortable home-like feeling, if that makes any sense. And so I know what it's like to like feel like you need that person in your life and like you can't live without them. I know what that's like. And it's hard to sometimes recognize that just because it's something that you want doesn't mean that you can have it. And that's what happened to me. Is I watched that video and it's just me crying and talking about feeling him and how much I missed him and how I got to a point where I didn't need him anymore and I just wanted him in my life. And I watched the video and went, oh, well, in that case you can have it back. And we spent almost a month trying to be friends. And it was going really well for a while, kind of as good as it could be. We saw each other and I loved hanging out with him. He's so much fun to be around. I loved hanging out with him, and we had fun again, like we hadn't had fun in a long time. And we talked and we communicated in a way that we had never communicated. And we were connecting, and we both had said, like, it's crazy how I feel more connected and closer to, like we understand each other better now that we're not getting married than we did when we were getting married. And then we fell back into some of the same patterns. And it reminded me why we can't be friends. And just the same unhealthy patterns that we had plans, and instead of going through the plans, we're a codependent relationship, which what that means is that there's a perpetrator and a victim. One of you does something to the other one, and then the other person plays the victim, and then you like reconcile, and there's this pretty little honeymoon phase, and then the opposite happens. This one's the perpetrator, this one's the victim, the honeymoon phase, okay? And we fell back into that same pattern that we had these plans to go hunting, and instead of going, it just turned into a mess. And it woke me up from my thing to realize that, like, the people we are now can't be together. And so people keep asking me the question, do you think you would be able to get back together? The answer is no. And why it's a definitive no is because the people Brian and I are now can't be together. Zero question. Like, it didn't, we loved each other as much as any two people could love each other. But just based on principles and differences and just fundamentals that people don't talk about enough, like how you're going to raise your kids and how you're going to do things, people don't talk about that enough. And because of that, we can't be together. And in order for us to become other people, we can't be together. And by not be together, that means not being friends either. Because we had obviously gotten to a point in this relationship where we had grown as far as we could grow, which was the problem with me, is that I spent the last year of my life focusing on growing myself and focusing on being the best version I could be. And I was doing all of that, and Brian wasn't at the same spot in his life, and I outgrew the relationship. And that's not because of anything, just timing. And the relationship stopped being beneficial. I say that to people all the time, like, you shouldn't have any relationships in your life that aren't beneficial, and people think that's rude or selfish or whatever. Why would you? Like, why would you have a time suck in your life? You get, this is it. This is what you get. You get, that's the only thing you can't get more or less of, is you get time. Why would you have a time suck in your life? And a relationship being beneficial could just mean that, like, you're there for them, and that makes you feel needed. That's beneficial to you. You don't have to tell somebody that. Obviously, like, oh, you're only there because it makes me feel needed and validates my interactions with people. I don't know what your thing is, but the relationship stopped being beneficial. And that's hard to recognize, but if you aren't together anymore, the relationship's not beneficial. You'd still be together, okay? And what you have to remember is that if it's not beneficial for you anymore, it's not beneficial for that person either. And that was one of the things I really had to look at, in order to get myself to the point where I could tell Brian we couldn't be friends anymore, was knowing that, okay, if this is holding me back because I'm not being able to grow into this person I want to continue to grow into, because I'm remaining in these same patterns, in the same environment, in the same comfortability of this relationship, then he's not able to grow either. And so many women, we're trained, we're conditioned to be self-sacrificing. The combination of maternal instincts, being indoctrinated with this culture of taking care of everybody else, that as little tiny girls, you grow up thinking that you just get married and you have a Prince Charming, and then your world gets better, and then everything's great, and you will self-sacrifice in order to make anybody else happy because we're taught to. And so that self-sacrificing behavior is something that is a flaw. It's also a strength, and in order to make it to a strength, you have to work it to your benefit. So that's a way that I've learned to work it to my benefit, is in taking something that was too hard to do for myself and recognizing that if this is holding me back, even though I still want it, and it still is this source of happiness, that holding on to it isn't doing any good for either of us. So, will Brian and I get back together? No. Because the people that Brian and I are right now can't get back together. Is there an open possibility that 2 years from now the universe could throw us back together and now is our time? Maybe. I don't know. I'm letting go of that expectation, and letting go of a relationship is letting go of the expectations you had on yourself to have to be that same person, letting go of the expectation that you need that relationship or that other person to be happy, letting go of the expectation that you need that other person to be whole, letting go of the expectation that you were still the person that you were when you met them. Trust in the fact that this relationship was brought to you for a reason and as a lesson. And in order for you to learn the lesson, you gotta turn in the homework, dude. Like, you can't keep holding on to it. It's just gonna, your backpack gets full, and then your grades start sucking. Take the lesson, learn it, turn it in, and move on. Go to 4th grade instead of just 3rd grade. Not implying Brian was 3rd grade at all. I feel like that was some sort of hardcore, ultimate graduate class. I feel like I'm in graduate school of life, calling it weddings and stuff. So, yeah, if you want some tips on how I am helping myself to not reach out and not talk to him, how to sever those ties, because I'm not going to act like that's easy. I'm not going to act like there hasn't been a moment every single day since I said that we were done talking and done having a relationship that I wanted to talk to him. Because there is. Most days, multiple moments. I just want to call him, I want to tell him something, I want to send him a text message, I want to throw him a Snapchat, I want to, whatever. It happens. But there's some things that you can do to stop yourself from doing that. So if you want to see that list, go to the blog at theconfessional.com. You can also learn more about me. Find me on Facebook. Send me a friend request. Send me a message. I'd love to get to know you, how you found me, any questions that you have. That really helps me to get new videos out to you guys. Yeah, I'm Shantae. I'm the founder of The Confessional and Team Phoenix. As of now, I'm kind of a gypsy. I'm a health coach. I'm a blogger. I'm outside in the cold at my parents' house doing something crazy, which is another video coming up very soon. Yeah, hope that helps you guys. I'd love to hear your stories and kind of your response to that. 15 minutes, not bad. It's whatever. So, namaste, guys. See you later.